This video is to show you how we make our version of eggplant Napolitano. This recipe, you're going to need panko breadcrumbs and tomato sauce.
You're also going to need some Italian herbs like these, some eggplant, which we've already cut up. We'll tell you about why we've cut it up and why it looks like this in just a bit. You'll also need some flour for the crumbing process, some cheese in our fridge. Oh yeah, you'll need egg for the crumbing process as well. We're going to use some ricotta cheese on top of that, and just one of your standard pizza cheese.
So the first step is to peel the eggplants and then cut them in half-inch thick slices, long ways, and then salt both sides and hang them to sweat.
Lay them on a rack. Next stage, after your eggplant has been peeled, cut into half-inch thick, long ways slices, salted on both sides, and sat on a rack to dry. Let some of that moisture out. The salt brings that moisture out. We're going to take them now, and as you can see, they're even dripping some moisture, and we're just going to blot them on some paper towels. Try to get all the excess moisture. All right, Ariana here is patting dry some of our eggplant slices.
And this takes about, well, as much time as you have.
We really want to do this over and over with several paper towels, even though it's a bit wasteful. Getting these eggplant really dry before we crumb them will really cause them to end up being nice and crispy in the end. All right, Ariana is still at it. Many paper towels later, they're starting to get a bit drier, but still need some time. She's been at this for about 10-15 minutes, but this really does make the difference by over and over putting them in paper towels and trying to get every last bit of moisture out of them. As you can see, the paper towel has really absorbed a lot of that moisture. All right, our eggplant are ready to be crumbed. They have been dried out to the best of our ability using the salt method first and then the paper towel method. They're going to go from here into some all-purpose flour, from the all-purpose flour into an egg wash, followed by panko breadcrumbs mixed with Italian herbs. Then they will land on a parchment sheet of paper on a baked eggplant, nice and coated in flour, into the egg wash. Really got to just keep at it, moving that thing all around until it's every bit of that is wet with egg wash, because that's what the panko breadcrumbs are going to stick to. You see, we have our flour, our egg wash, and our panko station all close by to try to prevent making a mess. It is a messy, time-consuming dish, but the result is really worth it. She's dripping off some of that excess egg wash, and she is going to head into her bed of panko breadcrumbs. She will lay it down on top of some and then coat that the best she can so that every single bit of that piece of eggplant is nice and dry and coated with that crispy, crunchy panko. She's going to cover every single area. She's got a bunch of these to do. And they will land on that parchment paper on the baking sheet. So that looks great. Nice and coated, nice full of herbs. That breadcrumb mix has also been salted in addition to mixed with Italian herbs. And there you have it. Just got to fill this tray up now. Here we go. The eggplant has all been crumbed now, and she's just going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil spray on the top. That's going to really help this to get crispy in the oven. Now that it's been sprayed, we're going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to let that crumb really take hold. And then we're going to cover this in aluminum foil and cook that covered on 230°C, which is around 425 Fahrenheit, 450 Fahrenheit. We're gonna cook that covered with aluminum foil for 20 minutes before we uncover and finish. The eggplant is covered in aluminum foil, and we're gonna set that on 20 minutes, 230 degrees. 20 minutes later, I'm gonna uncover the eggplant. You can see maybe all the steam coming off, which is what I wanted. I wanted those to get a chance to cook through on the inside before they become dry and crispy. Otherwise, it'll get dry and crispy too quickly before the eggplant's really soft and cooked through. I want like roasted eggplant on the inside on a crispy outside. Eggplant is headed back into the oven, and we're basically just gonna cook this now until it's nice and brown and crispy. Time is on. We're still on 230°C, both sides. And we might finish this with a bit of broil or grill, as they call it here in Australia, top down at the end to make sure the top's nice and brown, but that's how we'll know it's done, when it's nice and brown and crispy looking. Alright, the eggplant has been in, heat from the top, a little bit of melting of that cheese. We are ready to serve with some spaghetti. Eggplant Napolitano. Just a little bit of a smear of a sauce. Of course, just finish with some olive oil on the plate. And that's it. How is it?